everyone, it's Shannon. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, I hope you will hit that subscribe button because you'll find new DIYs, tutorials, and new inspiration here every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Today, I thought we would get creative with some Dollar Tree items and create some new Halloween decor. So let's go ahead and get started. And our first project is a chalkboard pumpkin, and we're going to use it as a countdown decor piece. I know my kids really love to count down to things, so I thought this would be fun for them. So I have a Dollar Tree styrofoam pumpkin here. I also have not only some black chalk paint, but some black chalkboard paint, a foam paintbrush, some regular chalk, and then also a white chalk marker. So the first thing I'm going to do is paint my pumpkin with the black chalk paint. The reason I'm going to do that instead of just using chalkboard paint is because chalk paint is a lot thicker and it goes on much more easy. It clings to surfaces a lot better. So I want to give this one or two coats of the black chalk paint first, and then we'll top it with the chalkboard paint. That way the chalkboard paint will be able to be erasable, whereas your chalk paint is not. And here's a look at the pumpkin. I just gave it one coat of the black chalk paint. I wanted to give it just a nice base coat, and it did really well covering. So now I can go ahead and add my chalkboard paint over the top of that. Alright, so here's my pumpkin. I ended up giving it 2 coats of the chalkboard paint because when you go to erase a few times, sometimes it can rub some of that paint off. And so I wanted to give it a nice good coating. That way, once you keep erasing your numbers, your chalkboard paint will stay intact a little better. And now I'm going to use my chalk pen here and write days until Halloween. The reason I'm using this is because this is a lot less easy to erase, whereas you want to use regular chalk for your numbers as you count down. I'm also going to use my buffalo check ribbon to give it a little bow on top, just so it has a little bit more pattern and interest. And now we're going to move on to the next project. We're going to create one of the really cute, really popular candy holders. They're especially cute on your tiered trays. So I found this little hanging terrarium at Dollar Tree, and we're going to use that to convert it into a Halloween decor piece. I'm going to be using my hot glue, white and black chalk paint, foam paintbrushes for those, and then also one of these plastic spiders. They come in a set of 6 that's also from the Dollar Tree. And the first thing we need to do is take apart our hanging terrarium. It has this plastic piece on the top that you just twist off, and it comes apart in 2 pieces. We're not going to need that. And we're going to turn ours into a ghost today, but I think this would be really cute if you took this idea and either made him into a pumpkin or a witch even. But I'm going to turn mine into a ghost, and so I have white chalk paint, so I'm just going to give the whole thing a couple coats of that. And here's my terrarium. I used 3 coats of white chalk paint to get him good and covered. You want to make sure you don't get any of the chalk paint on the inside there, because that's where we're going to put the candy, and we're going to keep it food safe. And I'm going to use my black chalk paint, and then I have some smaller paint brushes and my foam paintbrush back there to give him eyes and a mouth. Next, I'm gonna paint my spiders all black. I don't mind the glitter, I actually really like glitter, but I just want him to be all black and white. So I'm gonna cover up the purple and then hot glue those onto those holes there so that gets covered up. And then I think I'm also going to give him a buffalo check bow tie underneath. So we'll see how this all comes together. All right, and here he is. I decided to not do the buffalo check bow tie. I feel like once you get the candy in there, that's probably gonna be plenty enough decor. Or you could even add a bow on top of his head to cover up the holes and make him into a girl ghost even. But now I'm gonna go ahead and add the candy in there and set him up. And for our last project, we're gonna make a really cute Halloween sign. So I found these signs at Dollar Tree. They have this cool little flipping mechanism here at the bottom. And I thought it would be cute to do a sign that says the witch is in, and when you flip it, it will say the witch is out. So like I said, the sign is from Dollar Tree. The other items that you'll need for this project are, you'll need some sandpaper. I have my white chalk paint, and this is Americana Brand's traditional burnt umber acrylic paint. I have Mod Podge in matte finish. You can find this at the Dollar Tree. I have foam paint brushes for each one of those, and the Witches In is a free printable from me to you. I will link that down in the description box below. I printed mine on cardstock, but if you have just computer paper, you can use that too, whatever you have on hand. And we're gonna go ahead and get started working on our sign here. All right, so we're gonna work on our sign now. I need to get this tag off the back here because we're gonna be using the back instead of the front. If you wanna use the front, you can. The back has the little parts to the flip part. So if you want to use the front, use your sandpaper, sand all of this down because it's got glitter on it and you don't want to see that. It will be raised if you just paint over it. So you want to get rid of all that. We're going to use the back since it's a Halloween sign and it's kind of going to be rustic anyway. I'm going to go ahead and leave these the way they are. I don't think it's going to hurt anything. So I'm going to get this tag off and I'm going to remove my jute from the top because we're going to do some painting next. And now we are going to start using our white chalk paint. I'm going to do a dry brushing technique on the back because this is brown, so once we dry brush over it, you'll see some of the brown through the paint and it'll kind of make it look like it's a wood underneath. So we just want to do a little bit of that with the white paint. I'm going to completely cover this with the white paint just because obviously it's a color now and there's no brown. If you took a orbital sander or a electric sander to this and you could get all of the paint off of there, you'd be left with the brown. So you could do that if you wanted to as well. I'm just going to kind of make this easy. We're going to dry brush this and we're going to completely paint this with a few coats of the white. And here's the sign all dry. I ended up having to do 3 coats on this part here to make sure all the paint was covered. And I'm gonna work on the free printable. Like I said, this is down in the description box. You can go there, download it to your computer, and print it off to use. I'm just going to rip this all apart. I want this to look rustic and, you know, Halloweenish. So instead of cutting it down perfect to fit, I'm just gonna rip the edges out. So this whole piece, and then each one of these are gonna get ripped out as well. And then I'm going to distress it. So I have my burnt umber acrylic paint. I have a little bit of water in a dish here that I'm going to mix it with so I can water it down. And I'm gonna use that to put on top of the cardstock here to give the paper more of an aged look. I may also add some to the sign so it all kind of blends together. And now that our pieces are all dry, we're gonna Mod Podge them to the sign. So to do that, all you have to do is put some Mod Podge down first, use your foam paintbrush, smooth it out. We want a nice thin coat, but we don't want it too dry and we don't want it too thick or else we're gonna get bubbles, and you don't want that. So then you just take your paper here, you press it down into the Mod Podge, put some more Mod Podge on top and smooth it out. I'm gonna finish doing that to all 3 of these pieces on this sign. And here's the sign all dried, and now I feel like the bottom part is just a little bit too empty, so I'm going to wrap it with some of this buffalo check ribbon, and then I'm going to add the jute handle back to the top. I hope that these tutorials inspired you to create some of these projects for your own home's decor. Please give this video a thumbs up for me. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I have more great DIY tutorials in the link next to me. You can follow me on Facebook and on Instagram, and I'll have those linked down in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye everyone.